Hello everyone, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess to do what's cracking reading. It's beautiful. It's been raining the last couple of days here after I planted all my garden, so it's all been so well timed. It was fantastic. I'm being well looked after. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel and for allowing me to do the readings for you. I've been very busy this week, so thank you very much for looking after me. If you do want a personal reading with me, life coaching or classes, whatever it is, I do keep everything. It is the general information's below the box underneath. But I do keep everything pinned to the top of my page at the Aussie Goddess on Facebook. So if you're unsure, you can whip over and like my page, or you can flick me an email. And lots of people do, and I'm more than happy to answer your email. Sometimes people are not sure what they need in terms of, you know, types of reading, and I'm more than happy to work through that with you. All right, we're going to use the Rider-Waite Tarot for your reading this morning. I've just got the tarot class ready for April, and a few people have said to me what sort of deck is best to use, and I always recommend that you get yourself a Rider-Waite Tarot book to start, deck to start with. Oh, I'm liking that. We have the Chariot and the Ace of Cups there. The Rider-Waite Tarot is a good starter deck. Is a good starter deck. The pictures are very, obviously it was one of the original decks, if not the original deck after Cartomancy and normal playing decks, but the pictures are very expressive, and they all have meanings, and the colours and the numbers of course have meanings as well. And they're very, very straightforward on the Rider-Waite. If you get some of the newer decks, which are absolutely gorgeous, we all love the new decks, but if you're a beginner, you can get quite confused if the picture's not explicit enough to understand the basic meanings of the cards. You're still going to go with your intuition, but if you can certainly trust yourself to understand what the card means in its basic form, then it makes it easier for you not to be so worried about bringing those messages forward. So it's actually really good for your intuition to know a little bit about the tarot. But anyway, so I always recommend a Rider-Waite if you're starting out. All right. We are ready to do your reading. All right. Okay, so we have the Six of Cups coming through. Quite interesting sort of cards jumping out of the deck this morning. The Six of Cards is a card of nostalgia or remembering. It's a card of going back in time. Sometimes it can mean that you're a little bit stuck on something that happened in the past. It can represent, you know, childhood things, both negative and positive depending on what's around the card. But in its basic form and in the upright, it talks about nostalgia, remembering the past, going back to your childhood. And whatever cards come through with it, right, okay. So you may be working through some childhood trauma here. There may be something that you're still working on from the past that hasn't quite cleared your energy yet. Now, sometimes this can mean you're going back to heal yourself from things that have happened in the past, but sometimes it can mean that the past is still dragging you back there. So you have some anxieties, some fears. Very often this can mean that you know, have had issues getting past, you know, a relationship or a situation where you found it very difficult to let go of, and it still infiltrates your dreams at night time. Whatever this is for you, something here is pulling you back to the past and creating anxiety for you. All right, so the Seven of Pentacles is a card that talks about being patient. We're planting seeds for the future, and we're being patient about how they manifest. I feel like some of you want something from the past here. There is either healing from the past that needs to be done that you're working on in a way that you are working through some issues here, and it is taking time to do that. Or some of you are getting impatient because something from the past has gone missing and you're waiting perhaps for it to be returned. You could be dealing with a water sign, a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. The Queen of Cups can also talk about mother issues. So maybe some of you are working on mother issues from the past here. Perhaps something you've discovered about yourself, something you've discovered about how you do things, how you see things. Perhaps you've started to understand some things about your upbringing, and maybe you're working through those issues at the moment. For others of you, you could be worried about a mother figure here. So there could be some stress or worry about somebody you have around you that you see as a mother figure. But somebody you're worried about from your past. There seems to be some sort of communication coming in here that's going to help you move forward. Some sort of communication that's going to sort of release you from something that either happened in your past or you're still hanging on to from your past. Let's see where we're going with this. All right, so we have the Four of Swords. So whenever anybody talks to me about anything that they have that's been worrying or troubling them in their past, I always say this is a time for healing. This is a time for allowing yourself to meditate. There must be something here that requires you to take time out. There's healing that needs to be done. And you can do this through meditation, taking time out. Sometimes you can do it through research as well, from understanding what's going on around you. But this is definitely feeling to me like something is really coming to the surface here for you to work with. Something is coming up for you. Now, sometimes we don't know. We may be behaving in a certain way, have a certain way of responding to things, but not actually know that it's due to a way we were doing things when we were younger and a way we've accepted things as we've grown older. So it could be something, for example, if you've had a very dominant parent, you may be a little frightened to speak up for yourself. So you may have sort of got to a point where you're not really able to express yourself or articulate something or be assertive because of a dominant parent. So what might happen as an adult, you might avoid very difficult conversations or confronting situations or even conflict. And it may take a little while to understand why you are that way. But very good to understand what's brought you to there. Like I always say, you can't blame anybody for the way you were raised, but you certainly can take responsibility for it now. So I feel like here, there's a very strong feeling that some of you have discovered things about yourself that perhaps you've been trying to understand. And now it's like, I get it, but I feel here, there's an emotional unraveling here. So it's time to rest, recuperate, and work through those energies. All right, so we have the Ten of Wands. Wow. Okay, Three of Pentacles. I'm loving this, though, because whoever I'm speaking to here, you're doing great work here. Whatever you're unraveling, whatever you're seeing, however you're seeing it, is really helping you to move forward here. Because what it's doing is it's taking away the stress and worry that you've been carrying around with you for a while and allowing you to really bring yourself to the surface. Really understand who you are. There's a sort of release of this beautiful passionate energy coming through here. All right, so we have the Strength card. Of course we do. One would expect to see that. Nine of Pentacles. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Queen of Pentacles. So I feel like some of you are really coming into this sort of more confident, more self-assured, more comfortable person. You're becoming more comfortable in your own skin. There is a definite working away of this shadow side, of these things that have held you back in the past. Really clearing the energies away here. And this is what the universe has been after with us for some time. Clearing away the past energies, releasing the past. So many of us get embroiled in the things that have happened in our pasts, and we don't realize that we need to heal them. We keep ignoring them, putting them away, shoving them down, pretending they don't exist, and we don't really embrace them as being part of who we are. This is the Strength card. This is about taming your inner demons, but being able to live whole and complete in your own skin. So even though these things have happened, you can't deny them. You have to accept that they happened. If you deny them, all you're doing is pushing your emotion deeper down and not acknowledging any fear or pain or whatever you went through. So this card is asking you to embrace those things, make them part of you, make your shadow side part of who you are. It may not feel comfortable. I know for many of us, anger is a big one here, shoving anger down and trying to ignore that it exists. This is about embracing those things and understanding that they are part of who you are. You don't have to necessarily work with them all the time, but just acknowledging that they're there. Because look how you're coming out here. So it's helping you to find your own abundance here. Now, a lot of people don't realize how much they don't trust themselves as human beings. They don't trust who they are. They don't trust their confidence. They don't trust their... Spirit is saying your originality. What is it about yourself that you don't trust? If you come into being and come into this wholeness, then you will start to bring in the things that you deserve in your life. But it's sort of like if you block yourself, then you're blocking your blessings. So if you don't accept yourself for who you are, then you're not going to accept everything that that brings with it. That's a bit deep. And I feel like here with this Queen of Pentacles, I always say the Queen of Pentacles is the closest queen to the Empress for me. Because she's very, very much in touch with her universe. She's very grateful for what she has because she understands who she is. So she's very, very much in touch with nature and her surroundings. And we have the Fool card. Now I want to say to you, just have a look at the colour of the cards. Now this is why the Rider-Waite is such an important deck. You can see that we're going from sort of this bluey grey colour into this beautiful yellow colour. So it's like you're opening up your intuition here. You're really understanding how to use your intuition. And you're taking a leap of faith. And I feel like for many of you here, this is taking a leap of faith complete and whole. Where you need to be. Let's have a look where we're going. Okay, so we have a King of Cups coming through with a Page of Cups. Now for some of you, you may have been thrown into healing through some sort of event or occurrence that's happened to you in the past. Sometimes we get to a point in life where we're, all of a sudden something is really clear to us. And I'm feeling like here, I'm talking to people, say for example, where you've been always bullied. You may have been bullied at work, you may have been bullied in your private life. And then one day you realise that somehow or another this bullying is a direct result of something you're doing. And the realisation is a little bit shocking, but you start to understand why you're attracting these people to you. And we all know relationships are there to reflect our energies. So why am I then attracting people who are bullying me? They could be family members, they could be friends, they could be people at work, your bosses. But you start to see the pattern forming. And then you have to ask yourself, why is this happening? You are unraveling something here that is leading to something so much greater, but you're clearing your energy to make room for this. There is some sort of offer and some sort of opportunity coming in for you here that is a direct result of you understanding these parts of healing that you needed to do. So for example, if you clear away and you understand the bullying, maybe then it would be much easier to step into the job of your dreams. Maybe then you can walk into a workplace where you're not encountering this all the time. If this is about relationships, maybe you've had cycles in relationships where you keep getting the same person with a different face. The universe does that. And there's no denying it. You could sit there as much as you like and say there's no patterns, but I can tell you now there are big patterns everywhere for us to understand how to work differently with our energies. There is an offer coming in from somebody here. Now, for some of you, this could be to do with work. For others of you, this is a romantic offer that's coming as a direct result of the healing that you've done. So it's sort of like you've moved something on your pathway. You've understood something, you've moved something aside, and you've made room for it. And now somebody is coming in to make an offer. For some of you, this will be a love offer with the King of Cups, Page of Cups here. Something that you will be required to take a leap of faith on. But maybe because of your past fears, maybe because of the past fears about your childhood, you may be reluctant to move forward because you don't trust yourself anymore. And the universe here is showing you, especially with this yellow energy, that you have in fact developed a very good level of intuition now from healing what you've done. So this means that if something is coming in now, you're going to recognize it. You're going to nip it in the bud. You're not going to tolerate things that you didn't before. You may become more outspoken. You may be comfortable with saying what you need here. Nine of Pentacles energy. I know what I need and I'm not afraid to speak up for it. This is a complete change in your persona as a direct result of doing this work on yourself. This is self-love at its finest. And when you're in a self-love energy, you can attract the love you want. All right, let's go back through. I feel like you're healing something from your past, something that's caused or created a great deal of anxiety. It looks as though you've had to be patient. You may have had to work through it. I feel like for some of you, this is mother figure energy. There is some sort of offer coming in here that's going to help you see the way forward. And look at this. I didn't even see this before. This is about you standing in your truth. And this is standing in your truth here. Being complete and whole, understanding how to love yourself and bringing in what you need here. But somehow or another you found that in the Ace of Swords. You've understood the truth. All right, we might read a Journey of Love card. I really love this deck, but it gets quite addictive, so I keep moving it out to bring other decks in. But I always seem to find my way back to it. Such a beautiful deck, would be one of my favorites. Oh, the light field. All right, let's see what that has to say. Card 63, number 9. Oh, straight to it. Nice work. You are very open to the other side. The veil that separates the worlds is very fine for you, for there is much love in your heart, and love exists beyond all barriers, including those of time, distance, and even death. If you wish to communicate with those that have passed on, do so through your heart. If you want to communicate energetically with your beloved, even though you are separated in physical location, then you can do so now. If your psychic abilities are opening, and we can see they are because of all the yellow on the table, and you need confirmation or reassurance, accept this message of guidance as being such. Those who've passed can be fully receiving and peacefully into the light, and your love guides them home. The messages that you sense in your own heart come from an unconditional love that uplift and reassure and can be trusted. The light is so close to you, beloved, it surrounds you as a glow from within. This oracle brings you guidance that you are connecting with a field of awareness that is real, and you are protected by light as you do so. It is confirming there is nothing for you to fear, and those that have passed on will pass on in future will be safely held in love. It is also confirmation that there are real bonds that connect you to your loved ones, past, present, and future, that are beyond the confines of time and space. And of course, I will read the poem. When I'm in love, I'm not afraid to be any part of me. I let it all be free for the world to know, And when I'm ready to love, I will create a reflection of who I am. And we will shed our fears, complete our past, and trust love to be our guide. Isn't that beautiful? When I'm in love, I'm not afraid to be any part of me. I let it all be free for the world to know. And when I'm ready to love, I will create a reflection of who I am. And we will shed our fears, complete our past, and trust love to be our guide. That comes from that deck. Alana Fairchild. Have a wonderful day.